Well, we have made it to the season finale of Gypsy Rose Blanchard Life After Lockup. I just watched the final episode, and you know that I have some things to say. If you missed my other videos, I have done a few reacting to each episode that has come out. This show, I will give it a bit of credit. I have been entertained thoroughly the entire time. The amount of drama, the amount of tea, the amount of oh my god moments. For someone like me who loves watching reality TV for the drama aspect of it, I was eating this show up. Nom 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 nom. And I'm gonna give you guys my final thoughts of the show at the end of this episode. But before we get there, we have to talk about some of the most jaw-dropping, shocking moments that stood out the most to me in the season finale. And there's a lot to go over because they jam-packed a lot of things into it. It goes over when she leaves Ryan all the way up to current times with her being pregnant with Ken's baby, or allegedly Ken's baby. It was only a 41-minute long episode, so there's a lot, and we're gonna go ahead and hop into it. And at the very beginning, we aren't going to be talking about Gypsy, okay? We're going to be talking about her stepmom, because I got beef with the stepmom for so many different reasons. And I feel bad if she hears this video and hears me say this, but she drives me absolutely insane because when she is in a conversation with another person, she does not let them speak. It starts out where her and Gypsy are on the way back after she just left Ryan's. She's telling Gypsy, however you feel, let it all out, you know, get it all out of your system. It's okay. And so then Gypsy starts trying to tell her how she feels, and she's just interrupting her the entire time and will not let her talk and tell her how she feels. I'm like, you just told her to tell her how you feel and you're interrupting her the entire time.
Just let it out right now if you want to, Gypsy. Scream if you want to. It's okay. It's not that you don't.
And I'm like,
you don't love him.
I don't.
Right.
In the previous episode, Ryan had said that Gypsy's stepmom, Christy, just likes the spotlight and likes the attention, and you can definitely tell because when those cameras are rolling, maybe she's like this when they're not, but when they're rolling, she's like, I want to be heard, I want to be known. Now there's this clip where Gypsy says that Ryan stuck with her through everything, through all the bad and, you know, all the struggles that she had gone through, and didn't leave her, right? But then she leaves him. If you love him so much for sticking with you through all of the bad things that you went through and through all the tough times, why couldn't you give him enough respect to leave the house while he was still there and give him like a final goodbye? Like if you actually care about his feelings and you think he's a good person, like she says later in the episode, then why couldn't you respect him enough to leave him kindly? I actually had some people in my last video leave me some comments and be like, it is totally fine to just leave when that person's not there. It is, if that's what you want to do, but I think that it's rude and disrespectful. And if somebody did that to me, like if my husband just like up and left and didn't give me the decency to like, you know, say that he was going as he was going, that to me is just wrong. And I don't think that that was the right way to do it, especially if she's saying that she, you know, has so much love and respect for him. Okay, then show it. She makes this comment about how Ryan is a good person, but he has some baggage and she has baggage. And obviously those two things together did not mix well for a relationship.
He's a good person, but he himself has baggage that he brings into our marriage, and I have hella baggage that I bring into our marriage.
I definitely can see that they both have their own issues. The thing about Ryan's though is I think his is a behavior that he can 100% unlearn. Not that she can't, but Ryan's, I feel like his like clinginess and controllingness, kind of he seems very overbearing. Some of that was probably amplified and like times 100 because he was insecure about her with Ken because she kept talking about him the whole time, and then what does she do? She ends up getting with him anyways. So I feel like I'll give him a little bit of slack and a little bit of credit when it comes to like how he was acting paranoid and kept bringing up Ken and hovering over her texts and stuff. But I also do feel like some of it is kind of like a personality thing, but I feel like he could very easily unlearn it. Like I feel like maybe if he could take some constructive criticism, he could actually be a decent guy. Like, yes, he did write her while she was in prison, and I think it's pretty weird, and maybe I'll be biting my tongue one day, but I don't think he's a bad dude at all. And actually I feel really bad for him. Like I do. I feel sorry for him. Did do a lot in this show that irritated me, as you all know if you watched my previous videos on it, but as a person I feel really bad for the guy. I feel like he got screwed over and nobody deserves to be treated that way, and Gypsy continues to string him along through the breakup and separation, and that that to me is nasty. Like, she calls him on the episode and she's talking to him on the phone and confusing the ever-loving hell out of this guy. Like, she's saying stuff like, I still love you and I miss you.
I do love you. Of course I love you. And I always will.
You're still technically my wife.
And she's saying things that are making him think that there's still a chance. And then the second on the phone, he starts like replying to that as like, you know, we could work through this. I knew when I married you that you were going to flee sometimes. We can get through this. Then she flips what she's saying and she starts acting like, I don't want to give you false hope. And I'm like, but you just did.
I don't
Because
want
you know.
I don't want to give you false hope.
False hope.
Even this call is giving you false hope.
Ryan's telling her like, I could hit you with adultery in our divorce.
Don't even act like I don't have you for adultery.
I don't want to be hit with adultery. Not for a friendship. I mean, we haven't done anything that consists of adultery.
And she's telling him that her and Ken have not, which is not true, like, allegedly. She's messing with his head so bad on this phone call. She's saying, like, even if I wanted to change the path that I'm on and get back with you, I can't do that because these are the decisions that I made.
Ryan, it's too late. I've set down a path I can't change.
That gets him thinking that there's some sort of chance, and then she's like, I don't want to give you false hope. Like, she messes with this guy's head so bad, and it's so mean. Like, after saying all of this stuff, giving him some sort of false hope, she then goes, I am going to be with Ken in 6 to 9 months.
And in 6 to 9 months, I'm gonna be with Ken.
Stop doing this to this poor guy. Just get off the phone and let him heal. She says that, she wants to be able to show up and give him a hug and comfort him through this, but she can't because she's the one that did.
I want to hold you. I want to make it better. I want the hurt to go away for you. But I know I'm not that person right now for you. I'm the person that's making you sad.
Could you just stop messing with this guy's feelings? Like, it's just cruel. Like, the only reason why you keep contacting him and telling him you love him and miss him is because it's in moments where you're lonely and maybe Ken isn't around fulfilling your needs, and you know that Ryan's going to be there to respond because he actually loves and cares about you. And that's gross. Like, she just continues to use him to her benefit. To give you an example of some of the just disgusting things that she does messing with Ryan's heart that they go over in this episode, is Ryan's talking to the camera and he's saying that she will text him randomly that she loves and misses him, which this is something that happened in like the TikTok lives that they were doing. Right after one of these incidences where she tells him that, she then texts him a picture of her and Ken and says, Ken came to visit me.
She texted me and said, but I still love you. I miss you. Things like that. First thing she does is send me a picture that people have got that released of her and Ken. This is it. I said, that was evil. She wrote, we just hung out. Don't worry, we're just friends.
Like, you're trying to get some sort of jealous reaction out of him because it makes you feel good about yourself. So then Ryan proceeds to say that she tells him, like, we were just hanging out, we're just friends, like nothing happened between the two of us. But then the very next day is when it came out that she got the matching husky tattoos with Ken.
I wake up to the next day, I see them get matching tattoos. The matching tattoos broke my heart. It was like, did I mean anything? Did I mean anything?
So we're seeing the backstory to that and Ryan's reaction, and honestly, you guys, it's so sad. Like, he's like crying about how that really hurt him. And you got to think of it like this, okay? So Gypsy says that the reason why she got these matching husky tattoos with Ken is because when they were in a relationship prior, that her and Ken always talked about when she got out of prison that they were going to get a husky dog. So that was a mutual thing that they shared together that was very special for them. So they get these husky tattoos, and when you put them together is in the shape of a heart, right? This is why it's extra gut-wrenching. It's not only that she went and got these matching tattoos with Ken right after leaving Ryan and telling him that they're just friends and that she loves and misses him and like messing with his head. It wasn't just that, but it's also the fact that she got a dog with Ryan and then leaves the dog with him. Okay? You had a dog with your husband that you just left. That to me is like mean girl behavior on a next level. She's not thinking about anybody else but herself. And the thing about that is that that type of behavior will catch up to you. Like I said in my previous video, in the words of JoJo Siwa, karma is a bitch, okay? Remember those lives that she was doing with Ken where she was like, Ryan texted me, and she was like talking about it in the TikTok, trying to make Ryan look bad and trying to make him look like a weirdo that's like, I love and miss you. she seemed to leave out of that TikTok live where she was talking to all those people that she was doing the same thing. Okay, and now we're seeing it.
Please let me know you're okay. How's our baby doing? Now she wants to know about, I miss her so much. How's our baby? Stuff like that gives me hope. Last night she told me I'm selfish. I'm sorry, I'm so selfish.
If she wants to go, go. But why the continual contact?
I said it in my very first video when she was getting out of prison. She is going to manipulate the public and manipulate everybody in her life, and that is exactly what she's doing. That's what she knows how to do. I'm going to be talking about this in my next video where I do some reactions to some of their lives that they've been doing. But it's interesting because the way that Gypsy was treating Ryan, where she was acting like she wasn't as interested in him as he was her, you can see that behavior coming from Ken now. Now Gypsy is the Ryan and Ken is the Gypsy, where Ken, it doesn't seem as interested in Gypsy as she is into him. Like even at the end of this episode, she's crying while she's pregnant, telling the camera that she's afraid that Ken is going to leave her.
I mean, I trust that he loves me. I trust that I love him. But that fear is there.
Wait till that baby gets here and it gets really hard and the baby's crying a lot and won't stop crying and you and Ken have to work together in the hard moments of parenthood. Like, just wait. You shouldn't have had a baby with somebody and been trying to get pregnant with somebody that you think is going to leave you. That is such a messy situation, and now you're bringing another little innocent life into that equation. So then we go to this clip, all right, where Gypsy is sitting down with Mia, her sister, and her stepmom. And her stepmom says on camera that she thought that they would get back together because she, Christy, hasn't stopped talking to Ken since day one. She has maintained a relationship with this man behind the scenes. Weird. And even you can see that Mia, her daughter, thinks it's weird and isn't with it, right?
I dated it a long time ago.
That's awful to say.
No,
But
it's really true though.
It's the truth. Me and Ken never lost in touch.
Like, Mia's getting all irritated on the show and she's telling her mom if Ken had these things that he needed to say to Gypsy, he should have went and told Gypsy himself. He didn't need to go and tell her stepmom. He needed to go and tell Gypsy one-on-one. Like, why are you talking?
She needed to know the real reason why he ended it.
Did she?
Yes, she
should have told her that, not you.
The main reason why he ended it was not what we thought.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that either.
They're trying to talk bad about Ryan at this table and Mia's not having it. She's like, okay, you can't sit there and say Ryan doesn't have a right to dislike Ken. Of course he does. Like, he has a right to be angry and stop trying to paint him like a bad guy.
And he had every right to hate Ken and all that.
Well,
that is his feeling.
He has a better understanding
Oh my gosh.
of...
There just have been many things from many different angles that have bothered me. Mm-hmm. A little different thing between Ryan and Ken for me is that Ken knew that Gypsy was still married. Where's your respect for Ryan? I don't feel like he was trying to protect Gypsy in the best way.
Like, they were trying so hard to paint him like this bad dude, and it's so wrong of them to do that because honestly, he didn't do anything making him deserving of them to treat him like that on camera in front of the millions of people watching. There's a line that Mia says I love so much. She says that they're making irrational decisions based on short-term happiness or something like that. And that is so true. That is exactly what happened. And I am kind of concerned that this is going to end up biting Gypsy in the butt. And I think that she's going to end up having some regrets, and now there's going to be a kid involved. And you don't understand how overwhelming things can get when there's a kid involved. Then there's this like really weird cut scene where Gypsy Rose's stepmom says, Gypsy is my only priority. And I'm like, you have a husband and you have another daughter. Like, what the hell? Like, is she your only priority now because she's super popular and you feel like you're getting something out of it? We have got to talk about this. This irritates me so bad. There is this moment where Christy, the stepmom, is talking to Rod, Gypsy Rose's dad. She tells him that Gypsy only married Ryan because she didn't want to have to move back in with her parents and put a burden on them. And that Gypsy was waiting on her dad, Rod, to tell her not to marry Ryan. And because he didn't say that, she did it anyway.
If you would have said, I'm totally against it, no, that's what she wanted you to say. She was craving that. It's a hard pill to swallow.
Let's accompany that with what we watched in the previous episode, where Gypsy was saying that she was just waiting on Ken to say, don't marry him. She is literally blaming everybody else for her decision making. And she also, not only that, says that she used Ryan, which we already knew, but just admitting that is crazy to me. That
Said, so you didn't want to come live here because you were 32 years old and you thought you would be a burden. That's the reason why she married him.
she only married him so she wouldn't move back in with her parents. Can you imagine how bad that hurt Ryan to hear that? Not only that, but in a previous episode, she said that he was a rebound, that he was someone that she got with just because she got broken up with. She messed with him. She did him so dirty, like dirty. It was so irritating to watch Christy look at Rod and basically be like, it is your fault that she got in that marriage and she's having to deal with all this right now because you didn't tell a 30-something-year-old grown woman not to marry somebody. And she's literally like, I know, it's like a hard pill to swallow hearing that, like trying to make him feel bad. Like, what the hell is wrong with you, lady? Like, for real, what is wrong with you? Her marrying Ryan is her responsibility. She's not a child. She's a grown adult woman making grown adult decisions. I just didn't like that. I don't feel like Christy has her husband's best interest at heart because she was trying to make him look bad on camera and put blame on him on camera in front of millions of people for why Gypsy married Ryan. That's gross, honestly. And I'm going to go on the record saying I do not like Christy at all. Totally not okay that she continued talking to Ken. I feel like she has a crush on him or something. And also the way she disrespects her husband and stuff on camera too is gross. Like, Rod seriously does not have a good track record at picking his wives. Okay, so now we get to the portion where Ken is coming to cut off and he's going to sit down and have a conversation with Rod. And we get to see this whole little interaction here, which is wild in hindsight. But before he's there, Gypsy says that she's been like obsessively tracking his location. So she already has his location on, and she says on it, she's like, I'm stalking you. Oh God, the red flags be flagging. But when Ken first pulls up, Gypsy tells Ken, she's like, oh, you look great. And he doesn't say it back.
Good to see you.
You too.
I'll get Parker real quick.
Yeah, get Parker.
Then also Ken brings his dog, and his dog runs out of the truck, and he goes up to Christy, and Christy's saying that she misses him.
What you doing? Huh?
You know who loves me? Yeah, Parker loves me.
He missed you.
Which implies that she has physically been around Ken before because she's seen this dog. I feel like there's some lore that we're missing here, okay? Christy gets a haircut right before Ken comes. If you're a girl, you know if you know.
Yeah,
Hey, Christy.
they get along.
I like your hair. Looks good.
Thank you.
So the reason why this was so wild is that, you know, Rod's telling Ken, he's like, Gypsy really wants a baby. Do not get her pregnant. And I'm going to be mad if you get her pregnant. And then Ryan's later talking about how they were actively trying to conceive. They were trying to make a baby. Do you know how like disgusting and awful of a human being you have to be trying to make a baby with your husband and then leave him and immediately try and make a baby with your ex? Immediately. Like, she said she left him, and I think it was March. She got pregnant in April. I mean, Ryan even says at the end of this episode that because of the timeline, it could be his. And when he asked Gypsy, is it mine or Ken's? Gypsy said she didn't know.
Right after she left, Gypsy texted me a bunch of pregnancy tests and said she was pregnant. Well, who's the father? And it could have been me or Ken at that point. So she didn't know. She was like, I don't know.
I know she acts all confident on whose baby this is, like on social media. But what was up with this line? Because she told Ryan she didn't know. So I just want to wrap up my final thoughts on this show. I was thoroughly entertained the entire time. So I will applaud the cast of this show for that. They have kept us entertained here. Now, I'm just like a regular girl who sits down and films my opinions on the shows that I watch. When you do reality TV, the people sitting on the couch watching, everybody is judging what's happening. That's the purpose of reality TV. I'm just filming my opinions and putting them online. My opinions don't really matter at the end of the day. I actually feel like I don't mind Ryan. Now he did do some sketchy behaviors for sure. I feel that he could unlearn those things. I'm also giving him some slack because of course he would be a bit paranoid because what he was afraid of happening was what was happening. So I understand. I do feel really bad for the guy. I think he's heartbroken. I feel like the way that everything happened with Gypsy is going to be kind of traumatic for him. I think she really messed with his head. Honestly, I feel like I don't mind him. You know, he seems like he could be fine if he unlearned some behaviors. Ken, on the other hand, I feel very unsure about. I feel like he came back in because Gypsy was in the spotlight. He saw an opportunity and he took it. And I think that if he finds someone else he likes more from now being famous with Gypsy, he's probably going to end up leaving her. I don't see them working at all. And I think Gypsy is going to be absolutely heartbroken because I think Gypsy is absolutely obsessed with this guy. I don't think it's a healthy relationship. It at least doesn't appear to be. Again, just my opinion. I hope they're happy. I hope that I'm wrong, but I don't know. The fact that like she still thinks that he could leave her. I also want to say I don't like Christy. I think that she stuck her nose in other people's business. And I think the reason why she did that was because she has something to gain from it. I feel like she's gaining something emotionally from her being involved with Ken and Gypsy and that whole thing. I feel like she's trying to play God and I don't like it. Okay. My favorite people in this whole show is Mia and Rod. I feel like they are the most well-rounded. They make the most sense. They typically would say things that I was already thinking. Especially Mia. She seems very intelligent in her opinions. She seems like she has a good head on her shoulders. And yeah, that is the end of this series where we have been reacting to Gypsy Rose Life After Lockup. It has been so much fun. I have had a blast talking about this with you all, but do not go anywhere because they have all been so messy on their social media and on their lives, everything with the pregnancy. There's a clip where Ken yells at Gypsy on live. I'm gonna be reacting to that in my next video, so definitely subscribe if you are not so that you don't miss it. And also, I'm posting TikToks. Like, what? I know, that's weird. It's just for fun. They're not anything like these videos, okay? Just for fun, so it's not gonna be for everybody. I posted some recipes on there. I don't know what I'm gonna post. It's gonna be the most random stuff, but if you guys would like to follow me on there, I will have that link down below. That would be really cool because I only have like 80 followers on there right now. And I would love for you guys to come join me and see what I got going on the tiki-talkie side of the internet. But thank you so much for watching this video and I will see you soon for another one.